Hi, I'm Caitlin.
And I'm Mitchell.
And this is The Wedding Journey.
And today we are talking about controversial wedding topics.
Yes, and we're going to jump right into it because we feel like this is going to be kind of a lot of conversation about wedding topics. We want to start off also by saying that if you're a kind of person who gets really up in arms about this stuff and you're not a bride or a groom, stop. Like, it's not your business to make it your problem.
Ultimately, controversial wedding things come down to what the bride and groom want. We echo that a lot. We basically hold the opinion that whatever the bride and groom want is what we do. And we reflect that a lot in our work. If the bride and groom ask for certain things, we'll do certain things. Yep. Even if we wouldn't do them on our wedding day, we feel that what they want is the most important.
Yep. And it bothers us a lot when there are guests who have opinions that are like different, and then they make it seem like that matters. Like,
the biggest one for me is the bride and groom want to do first look right before their ceremony, and then mom finds out and she freaks out.
She's like, you're not supposed to see each other.
It's like they obviously don't care. Can you just leave it alone?
The cool thing is, Mom, is it's not your wedding. You don't have to have an opinion about it.
They want to do things a certain way. Yep. We would have done that if we knew anything about weddings. Like, we're each other's best friend, and we would have wanted to spend that time together regardless of what the tradition was.
Yep.
And that's us.
Yep. And it's not for everybody, which is why like these controversial opinions are going to be almost kind of difficult for us, because I think we both kind of just take the side of whatever the client wants. Like, we can see both sides of all of the opinions.
And so for these, I think we'll take the approach of we'll give what we think, where it's coming from, what most people think, and then kind of a little bit about we'll briefly touch on what we think. But we'll briefly do it because we don't think that's very important because we're already married.
Well, we as in me can get a little fiery, so we might have a little bit longer of an opinion. We've not seen this list before, so we're getting this list.
Seen the first one.
It's an anonymous list of controversial wedding topics. Yep. So people have written down what they think is a controversial wedding topic. It's been put in this list. And so we'll probably have some thoughts as we go, but we'll start with the first one.
So the first one is, I don't see any issue with guests wearing white to the wedding, provided it is an actual wedding gown. I've attended dozens of weddings and have never seen a guest outshine the bride or be mistaken for the bride, regardless of what guests are wearing.
You just jumped right in and started reading. I was expecting to read. I'm going to finish that up. The bride is front and center during the whole production and looks incredibly lovely because they're happy, excited, and in love. I've seen posts shaming guests for wearing white to weddings, despite the dress/outfit in question being very obviously not a bridal gown. And despite the guests looking far more casual than the bride. I simply don't understand what all the fuss is about. So this is one of those things where I think Mitchell and I talk about this all the time.
Yep.
100%. You don't have to wear white.
No, it's looking at, I'm not most people. I am just myself, and I can see your closet. But white is kind of a special color to have.
Yep.
You have to go out of your way to wear white.
It's like a risky color to wear as well. Like,
it's so easy to get dirty.
Can happen.
Which is why I don't own white.
Yeah.
But there's
Mitchell's a mess.
I feel like men can get a pass sometimes on the white thing because 80% of dress shirts are white. But that's just the base color, and you're only seeing a little bit. Or sometimes they'll wear like a white tie. I feel like this mostly does not pertain to what men wear.
Yeah.
Because I've never seen a guest show up in a white suit.
I was going to say, a white suit would be probably not great.
I've never seen that happen. Most of the time, it's a young lady or an old woman wearing a white dress.
Yeah.
And you have to, and my opinion is, you have to kind of go out of your way to wear a white dress.
Yeah.
Like, that can't be the only color of dress you own.
Yeah. And, okay, so you're saying that it's obviously not a bridal gown, or they obviously don't outshine the bride. But my argument to that is, how do you know what the bride's wearing?
Yeah.
Odds are she's kept it under wraps.
We've seen so many times where people will wear gowns that like maybe traditionally are obviously not a wedding gown. Like just a white sundress, or we've even seen pantsuits at receptions or just all kinds of stuff. Even if it's only for part of the day, people wear all kinds of white garments as their wedding attire.
Yep.
And anything is borderline white at a wedding.
Yep.
It doesn't matter if it's the lace with the full length dress and the train.
Yep.
It doesn't matter if it's traditional or not.
And we've had some brides who have elected, they just vibe more with the destination style wedding dress. Just like a destination style wedding dress.
She's on camera too. You can see her little head.
I'm sorry.
She heard us.
I'm not laughing.
She's on camera. Now she's jumping down.
No, she's just getting more comfy. But we've had some brides who vibe more with the destination style dress, which is more like form-fitting, less of like a gown and more of just like a dress. Gosh. And in my opinion, like that, it's less obviously princess bridal, but like how, and sometimes wedding guests come in dresses that are borderline bridal, but it's pink or it's green or it's blue.
Yeah.
If that same dress were to have been white, it would have looked bridal.
Right.
So who are you? And this is my opinion. Who are you to be like, obviously this isn't bridal?
Yeah.
Because bridal means a lot of different things to a lot of different
Right.
people. And how are you going to walk into somebody else's wedding? Oh, I'm not going to upstage them. Like, they obviously are happy and in love, and that's all that matters.
But like, even if it doesn't matter, why are you still doing it? It's like a widely accepted sign of almost disrespect to someone on their wedding day. Even if you think it doesn't matter, even if even if you think they don't think it matters, why are you still doing it? Just don't do it. Why do you need to wear white to a wedding?
Yep.
You can wear light yellow. You can wear light colors if you're worried about being too warm. Yeah.
So I think we both are of the opinion that, like, okay, why? If you have to try to convince yourself that it's okay that you wear white, it's probably not okay. Or if you are like getting defensive about it, you know it's not okay. I think in the South, I've heard it's more okay for people to wear white. And I think at that point, my concern, see, this is just from like a person who cares about other people's standpoint. My concern is that if you're wearing white to somebody else's wedding and they for their whole life have dreamed of being the bride and it's been their dream to just like be the only one there wearing white, and then you are like, it doesn't really matter that much, and you just show up in a different color, that's rude. That's rude. Why would you play with that? Why would you play with that? Yep. So like I think we've had weddings where guests have come in white or basically white, and we have had no shortage of like bridesmaids or other people who have been like,
commented on it.
That doesn't seem right. Like, and this is from Ohio. So like, if you are a Southern person and you're like, this is stupid, well, just skip on to the next one because this is definitely like from our location and everything. But 100%, we are both of the opinion that it's the bride's day, bride's day. You don't need to be wearing white.
Yeah, you don't. And it's so simple. Like, we had one wedding. It was a Halloween wedding. And we found out when we got this. So we, as wedding vendors, almost always wear all black.
We do. And it's not because we think we need to be professional, but like black hides a lot of things.
It's easy to match. It hides sweat stains.
Yep. We look as a team. We look like we're in unison. Like we like wearing black. I understand that it's like kind of a thing right now for vendors to not wear black. And I think that's awesome for them. I think I have a hard time shopping and I feel the best of black.
It's easy. You just buy black clothes and you just wear black clothes. Yep. It's simple. It's easy. You don't stand out as much. Like, I set up tripods for weddings, and sometimes I'll catch myself in my shots, and I notice myself less when I'm wearing black than I do when I'm wearing teal and tan pants. Yeah. Like, it's just less noticeable wearing black, even though black's like a nice heavy color. Anyway, we show up. The bride is wearing a black dress, which I think we knew about.
Yes, we knew that she was wearing
black.
But
we didn't know that, we didn't even think that she wanted no one else to wear black.
Yeah, black was her white.
Black was her white.
Black is the new white.
And we found out that she was having an issue with someone wearing black it's a Halloween wedding. Almost all costumes are black. Like,
they have some element of black.
It's a pretty big ask for people to not wear black over white. Anyway, we get there, we find out there's a little bit of drama over someone wearing black to the wedding, and we look at ourselves and we're wearing all black. And so like, we've done it by accident, and we had clothes in the car, and I think Caitlin threw on an orange cardigan, and then I changed polos. Anyway, it's just, if it was any other color, there might be a reason why someone might want to wear that color, but white is such an abnormal color to have an abundance of in your wardrobe, and for that to be your only option, I find that hard to believe. So it's not so much that, it's, for me personally, it's not so much that I think it's important that only the bride wears white, so much as it is so easy to avoid. Yep. It's so easy to avoid. Why would you ever even do it?
Yep, 100%. And we'll stand with that probably until we die, because we're getting older. Opinions are changing less easily.
Opinions don't change when you're older.
Okay, so we are going to go on to the second. Do you want me to read it?
Go ahead.
Okay. Wedding cakes are a complete waste of money, and the tradition of smashing cake in each other's face is not cute. Wedding cakes are overpriced, often not tasty, and primarily there for display. I've worked dozens of weddings where plates are half-eaten cake just sit around and our wait. Oh my gosh.
I'll just start over.
I've worked dozens of weddings where plates of half-eaten or untouched cake just sit around waiting to be thrown away. There are many better desserts that are more delicious, don't require plates, and speak to the couple's personality. Donuts, decorated cookies, etc. And if my husband had pushed frosting in my face after paying to get my hair and makeup done, I'd be pretty angry. There are plenty of ways for a couple to have fun at their wedding, but cake in the face, to me, is just rude.
Okay, so first thing, cake in the face. I think that if everyone thinks it's good fun, then it's cute.
Yep.
Then it's fun. If there's a chance that someone could get mad, or if someone is asked not to have cake smashed in their face and they do it anyway, not cute. If it's consensual, amazing. Go for it.
Consensual cake smashing.
But if
cute.
it's
we support consensual cake smashing.
Yeah, we support consensual cake smashing because I think it's fun. I think things like that are fun.
The pictures are cute, the video's cute when both people are having a good time.
I think it seems like the percentage of people that think cake smashing is fun is very low, and the percentage, or okay, let me rephrase that. The percentage of women who think cake smashing is fun is very low, and the percentage of men who think smashing cake on their wife's face is fun is very high. And so that creates an unfortunate situation where every guy wants to do it, but no girl wants it done to her.
Yep.
But on those rare occasions where they both want to do it, I think that's great. But if
Yep.
someone's going to get mad, absolutely not. I don't think that's okay.
Yeah. And okay, wedding cakes, the first part of that, wedding cakes are a complete waste of money, and the tradition of smashing cake is not cute. But the complete waste of money, bull crap. Bull crap. Some people love cake. When we were not gluten and dairy free, the wedding cake was one of the most exciting parts of the day for me because I was so excited to have cake. Now, granted, there can be some icky wedding cakes. We've had a couple icky wedding cakes, but like and it doesn't even have to be expensive. People buy Costco sheet cakes. Costco sheet cakes are the shit.
Yeah, they're
so good. Like, don't tell me that they're a waste of money. If you wouldn't have spent money on it, then it would have been a waste of money for you. Yeah. But if you're a couple, this sounds like it was written by a wedding vendor. They said, I've worked dozens of weddings where plates of half-eaten or untouched cake sit around to be thrown away. Yeah. Like, so it sounds like they've worked a wedding before. Like, although, yes.
Right. You probably don't need to estimate so much cake because a lot of people, especially adults, are not going to want a lot of cake.
And they're not that mad if they don't get a piece. Yeah. Like, they kind of, I think it's understood. But I think that, okay, you could argue that, though, with any dessert, because what's one person's favorite dessert, other people aren't going to vibe with as much. So you buy...
And the people who aren't eating based on the fact that it's a sweet aren't going to eat any sweets.
You buy 100 cupcakes, they're going to be probably 50 half cupcakes. Yeah. Just like there would have been 50 half pieces of cake. You buy 12 dozen donuts, there are probably going to be a large percentage.
Actually, donuts are the exception. If anyone like me is at a donut wedding, there will be no donuts left.
He's cleanup crew also. He's like,
donuts are the exception. I personally stand behind donuts as a wedding. I lost the word. I personally stand behind donuts as the
You keep going. You're doing great.
Donuts are the best wedding dessert option, in my opinion, because they can be infinitely fancy and they can be dirt cheap if you want them to. Yeah. And I just think that donuts are the crap. Just like I think that I don't understand, on a similar vein, I don't understand why no one orders Domino's pizza for their wedding, or Papa John's or Donato's. Like, pizza, we've seen it happen like after dinner during dancing, but pizza, I'm telling you, pizza is the next big wedding food. It's cheap, you can get a lot of it, and it's good. And if you're worried about the mess, the odds are that your marinara pasta and meatballs was going to be messy anyway. Like, I just get every objection out of the way now. Pizza is the best wedding food, and people are sleeping on it.
You heard it here first, folks.
It's got to happen. It's got to be a trend.
Looking at your wedding budget and you're like, crap, I have to give on something.
And pizza has gluten-free options that are easy. It has dairy-free options that are relatively simple. They're not as good, but they're simple.
But yeah, pizza.
It's got everything.
Yeah, no, Mitchell's not wrong. But
not not a wood-fired pizza where everyone gets like one slice of a tiny pizza. I'm talking you need to order from a place that's going to give half a pizza to everyone.
Mm-hmm, like, that's true.
Yep. Okay, moving on. Tangent over.
No, I loved that. Well, we started on that because of donuts, right?
Yep, donuts.
So, but I would argue that in weddings where Mitchell is not a guest eating all the donuts, that you probably will have some portions of donuts that are not eaten. And I just think if you are going to be pissy about a dessert, like a wedding dessert, like, grow up. Yeah. Get out of here. You don't need to be in the wedding industry if you're gonna be mad at other people spending their own money on desserts that they like.
I feel like the difference there might be that a sheet cake, once it's cut up, it's gonna start staling from the open sides. But like a cupcake is going to be sealed until someone bites into it. A donut's going to be relatively sealed until you start biting it. It's going to last just a little bit longer. But still, you're going to have leftovers, so you're going to throw away.
Well, I don't think they're just talking about leftovers. It sounds like they're mad that there are people who are like leaving them on tables after taking 2 bites of them and then running out to the dance floor.
Oh, yeah. That's going to happen no matter what
It's going to happen no matter what.
Unless you're handing out pieces of candy.
And wedding cakes can be expensive, but they also can be really, really worth the money. Like, again, I'm going to say it again, Costco sheet cake is the bomb. Go ahead and just, if you're like, I don't know where to go for cake for my wedding, just go check that out first. Yep. Just like get maybe a small, really nice cake for you to cut into for pictures or something, if that's important to you, and then go get the rest of your cake at Costco. Yep. I have never, ever in my life heard anybody complain about it, and everybody loves it. So Mitchell and I are both going to go off on dessert tangents, and you know why? Because we can't have them. So we're going to go off on make you live our life for us. Yep. So I think that people saying that they're expensive, they don't have to be.
No. And that's the thing, is maybe a giant wedding cake that's super decorative that will feed your entire wedding would be a waste of money.
Yep.
But you can get those little 2-3 layer decorative cakes for you to cut, and then everyone else can have sheet cake, and that's how you should do it. And I don't think that's a waste of money.
Yeah. And if you wouldn't personally do it, just don't do it for your wedding. Yeah. If you ever get married, just don't do it for your wedding. Like, I don't know why anybody's going to be out here getting mad that people are spending money on cake. And then I think
if you like cake, get cake.
Yeah. If it would make you happy as a bride or groom, like go ahead and get the cake. But if you're worried that there are going to be people who aren't going to eat it, if you know that your family's not really dessert oriented, then just don't buy a huge one. Like or get a cake and then get some other little options for people to have. Like we've seen some cookie bars or some dessert bars that are just like 2 really long rectangle tables set up with like a huge amount of variety of desserts, and those are cool because then people have options.
I would argue that those probably waste more desserts than
it sure does. I think weddings, if you're worried about people wasting, don't have a wedding, because you're going to be feeding people food. Maybe you gave them an option between chicken, beef, and a vegetarian option, but they're probably not going to eat the whole plate unless they're a wedding vendor and they've been on their feet. And then if you're worried about the dessert, like same thing. They're probably not going to appreciate the dessert in the same way you appreciate it because it's your favorite thing or it was your selection. Like, I know we all want to please everybody, but there's no way we can, and it's okay.
And I think something that's really important to say is if you are planning your wedding, anything that you don't want to do or include and you do it anyway, that's a waste of money.
Yeah.
If you are planning your wedding and you don't want cake and you buy cake, waste of money. If you're planning your wedding and you don't want an awesome DJ, you just want to play music on your phone and you get it anyway, maybe that's a waste of money because you didn't want it. Like anything you don't want that you buy anyway is a waste of money, because ultimately your wedding is your experience and it should be tailored exactly how you want to do it.
Yep. And there are certainly things that you don't know that you should be informed on, like what a DJ can really bring to the table, or what a maybe good that was photographer. A bad example. Because no. We've seen people like hit it off to Spotify playlists.
Yeah.
And I would not think that a DJ would be necessary in those situations.
Yeah. And we've also seen DJs that people pay for that have not done a good job.
Yeah.
So it's one of those situations where if you give a little because you think you want something, but you don't give so much that you buy a quality version of that thing, it would have been better just to not get it at all.
Yeah. And I think that there are some instances like that people just need a little bit of education on. But for the most part, if you're convincing yourself to get something and you're like, I just have like a couple $100s to spend, I'll just get a little bit of that. Or I'll get the cheapest version I can of that. That's probably a waste. I mean,
which is its own entire topic that if you buy cheap, you buy twice.
Which we could talk about. If you want to hear it, we'll talk about it.
And for weddings, if you buy cheap, unfortunately, you don't get to buy twice. You're just stuck with what you have. Yeah.
Yep. Okay.
So,
moving on.
Number three. Okay, this one's short, so I'll read it.
Okay.
After I take my deep breath.
Was that Rap God?
I know the first sound of the first word.
I was gonna say that's not right.
No, it's not. Not even close. My impression was good though. Anyway.
I knew what you were going for.
All right, number 3. Wedding speeches need to be banned. I don't want to sit through 40 minutes of people saying how much they love each other, how much they watched the other person grow up, or reliving all their inside jokes, all while crying. Stop it. Do it in private. Just say congrats and get on with it. If you insist on having wedding speeches, please vet them and have them vetted by someone you trust. I have heard some awful speeches that were inappropriate / too long, etc. My first thought is, I hear this complaint often, and as someone who's filmed over 100 weddings, where are people hearing 40-minute speeches?
Yeah.
It's like 20 minutes tops, and that's when 5 or 6 people speak.
Yeah, I Okay, but like the person who wrote this is anonymous, but their username is Bug Power Dust. So let that one sink in. I want you to just let that. It is what it is.
Yeah,
there.
40 minutes of speeches. I have never seen anything close to that.
And okay, okay. Oh, this makes me mad. I'm gonna get mad for like 3 seconds, and then I'm gonna be done. Okay, they're going to cry and tell each other how much they meant to each other and all of that. If you don't want to be there, leave. If you don't want to watch people talk about how important they are to each other, if that doesn't touch your heart, go do something else.
Yeah, there's usually like a couple yard games set up somewhere. Go play games or get on your phone. No one's watching you. Make sure you watch the speeches.
Nobody freaking cares. And if you're the asshole who's mad that somebody is having somebody tell them how much they love them, then it probably doesn't bother you that much that you would be the asshole on your phone as well. Like, just like if you don't want to be okay, 40-minute speech, that's excessive. Yeah. But we've never seen a 40-minute speech.
Or even like, 40 minutes of speeches.
Yep. Typically it's like 5 to 10 minutes max. And we've seen some dumb ones. Like we've seen some where the person's had alcohol for confidence.
If you want some general speech advice from someone who
has filmed
analyzes very acutely wedding speeches for a living, only have max 3 drinks before, depending on your size. If you're a small person, maybe 1.5 to 2. Yeah. And have something prepared, bullet points, have something written out, even if you don't go by it. The worst speeches are the ones where they go up and say, I'll wing it. And if you're not exceptional at that, some people can do it. 99% of people can't do it. Don't wing it. Have something prepared. The worst ones are when they go up there and they just kind of stumble over their words and they talk in circles and they don't know where they end off, and then they just kind of end all of a sudden. Yeah. If you don't do that, your speech is going to be good because you know the person, you have things to say. You just you can't put yourself in a position where you're going to choke.
And I don't want there to be this understanding based on this one controversial wedding opinion that people hate speeches, because we see people who they're not family, they're not immediate family, but we've seen people cry at good toasts, like just like 20-something-year-old, probably cousin or friend who's been like in tears because of good wedding toasts. So I don't want it to get across at all that you're like self-conscious about giving a speech because you think nobody wants to hear it, or having speeches at your wedding because nobody wants to hear it. This person is one. This is one person. And I would venture to say that the amount of people who don't like speeches people probably are a little indifferent maybe. Mm-hmm. They don't know if they really want to sit down and listen to speeches. But if you keep them like effective and brief, if you keep your speeches, you give people a cap. You say you have 5 minutes max, and then then we have to move on. You give people a cap, and then you make sure that your bridal party is not getting too drunk beforehand, so that they are able to speak. Right. Like nobody's gonna be too mad. You're giving them a free meal. You've invited them to celebrate with you. If they don't want to celebrate with you by hearing really nice things that somebody has to say about you, they can go. They can leave.
With that being said, I do have a couple thoughts on toast that do align with what this person said a little bit.
Let's hear them. Put your dukes up.
Your speech should be like less than 3 minutes.
Okay.
It should be to the point. You should have something to say, and I feel like it should only contain one story, because the story is relevant to everyone. If the story isn't super funny or super impactful, which most of them usually aren't, then the only person who cares are the characters in the story. And if you do too much of that, people aren't going to like your speech as much as someone else's. Yeah. With that being said, if you think it's important to say it. 100%. I support anyone who says whatever they need to say during toasts. But if you want to give a good speech that has general appeal, keep the stories to a minimum. Make sure they have a point, and just like maybe take the message of your story and just say that directly.
Yeah. Give, and if you're going to tell a story, give context. Give good context.
Yeah, good context.
So that the other people feel like they've been there. Because we definitely have heard, it was like a recent-ish wedding. I don't even want to say their names.
Don't say their names.
Okay.
I just magically know which one Katie was talking about. All right.
Okay, but that one, the bride and her maid of honor, the maid of honor was giving her speech, and she just had like a lot of stories that only the two of them were laughing at. Yeah. And as a vendor, as the day of friend, the supporting character in getting them through their wedding day, I was happy they were having a good time. But if I were a guest, I'd be like twiddling my thumbs, kind of waiting for all the inside stories to be done. So like, there is definitely a way you can write your speech, but also their speech was like no more than 5 to 7 minutes. It was a longer speech, but like still, you get food, you're given a good time, Like, they basically put on a party for you to attend. The least you can do is be excited for people who are throwing this party for themselves, but also for you to be there.
Yeah.
That's my opinion.
Yep. And that's about it.
Okay, next one.
Yep, next one. All right, number 4. Flowers are overrated. I will be getting married in 7 short weeks, and throughout the entire planning process, I've come to feel like flowers are a huge waste of money. Sure, centerpieces are pretty, but what's the point of them? They'll more than likely end up in the trash at the end of the night. Having good food and great company is all I think I'll need to remember. Not lilies and clear crystal vases. Not lilies and clear crystal vases.
What are your thoughts on this?
I have a split opinion. As someone who would plan a wedding, I feel like there are other things you can use as centerpieces, like lanterns or objects you can get at a thrift store or home goods store. They're going to be cheaper than flowers. As a wedding vendor who appreciates, I feel like Oscar from The Office. As someone who loves elegant weddings, I think flowers are amazing. Nothing quite beats living flowers in appearance. Nothing quite gets there.
There's something about every wedding venue ever, unless you're getting married in a really like lavish garden or a lush, which will have flowers, or a lush greenhouse that has plants in it. Like, there's something about a cold, sterile environment that flowers can soften.
Yeah.
Like that a lantern or just candles in vases can't really do. There's something that flowers can add to the environment. And in that sense, if you have the budget for them, 100% they're going to be worth it, because photographically they're going to be great.
Yes.
Like, even like little bud vases, like I love the little bud vase thing where like somebody has like 20 tiny little vases on a really long table and they just throw like a stem in each one. I love that. However, flowers are expensive. From a couple who has gotten married, from people who have...
Did we have flowers on our tables? Did we have anything?
We did.
Oh yeah, we did. We paid. Okay, I remember.
My Aunt Jen did our flowers. Shout out to Aunt Jen. She did our flowers, and I remember she told me the cost of them, which it was like $200 for our flowers. And I was like, that's so much money for flowers. Girl, you can get like a bridal bouquet maybe in $200, maybe.
We also didn't have real flowers.
For my bouquet. But for the centerpieces and stuff, those were real.
They were?
Mm-hmm. And my bridesmaids bouquets were real.
How did that cost $200?
It was baby's breath and eucalyptus.
Okay.
It was like the cheapest that you can get, in my opinion.
See, all I remember is you and the ferns and then talking to people. I don't remember the decorations.
We also
Our wedding was at the end of the summer, so we grew a lot of our plants ourselves, like ferns and...
Well, we didn't grow the ferns. We bought the ferns, but we grew...
But they got big.
But we grew the, like, other plants that we had.
Yeah.
So we did a little bit of, like, a DIY there, because we know that the flowers are important. We were getting married in a location that was a little bit sterile.
Yeah,
it needed a little bit of help.
It was a conference hall. So
we needed some flowers.
I needed help.
So we knew the importance, and we did what we could within our budget. Which I would argue, if you're going to be out here complaining about flower prices and you're getting quotes from vendors, figure out how to do it yourself. Yeah. And then tell me that it's not important, because it is. There are ways you could do it yourself. And maybe we could do a whole podcast on that, how we grew our own flowers for our wedding. But I think flowers can be priced like they're expensive, but you know what? Like, there's a reason they're expensive. And if you have the budget for them, they can make all the difference in the world. But flowers are probably some of the more frequently cut items that we see at weddings. And if you're
throwing a wedding where you don't care what it looks like, maybe flowers are the first thing to go. But if you care about the general vibe of the wedding, then at least some kind of greenery or plant or something is kind of important to have.
And if you can't budget for flowers, if you're just like, I just like reasonably can't do a lot with that, just like take that into consideration when you're picking your venue. And maybe your venue has really, really beautiful landscaping you could use, or their ceremony space is outside and it's like a big tree and it's just like gorgeous and lush. Like maybe there are ways,
like a backyard garden wedding, like with like a small backyard garden wedding, then maybe you wouldn't need as many flowers because it's out in the garden. Like there are ways to do without buying a whole bunch of flowers, but for most venues, some kind of greenery in the space is important.
Yeah. And I think this person also says that they are likely in the trash at the end of the night, and you can make sure that they're not. We've seen people like...
We've been given bouquets before.
We've been given bouquets, but we've seen people who have talked about taking their centerpieces to an assisted living home the next day, or they've given them to the people who have helped make the wedding happen, like their vendors or their family members. So like there are ways you can dispose of them without throwing them in the trash, and truly just like giving them to somebody that can appreciate them.
Also, what makes me, I get the vibe that this was written by a guy, because that's the most basic objection to buying a woman flowers is they're going to get thrown away in a week.
This was a man. I just
Being guilty
know
of
it.
having said something like that before. It's like, I'd rather go out to dinner than, or I'd rather take you out to dinner than buy flowers. But the truth of the matter is that flowers are an extra luxury that are just nice to have.
They are.
And sometimes that's worth the money.
Yep. And if you can't afford them, it's fine.
Yeah, it's not a big
fine.
deal.
We've seen
There are
we've
ways
seen
around
plenty
it.
of good weddings that have been short on flowers, and it's fine. It's beautiful.
Yeah.
We are on to controversial topic number 5.
Which is?
Only a limited number of plus ones should be available. It's unfair the couple has to pay for partners, especially new ones, when it's their friends and loved ones that they want at their day. Plus ones also contribute to a really messed up couple culture. God forbid you need to talk to someone new that's not your partner. I've ended friendships because former friends have been rude to single people at weddings. So often singles get stuck with elderly relatives. That might be the best table to be at. But if we're realistic, it's usually awkward for everyone if the single person is in their 20s or 30s. It bothers me and my fiance so much. We try to avoid weddings. Jesus Christ. We're going to have a small group gather at a courthouse and then go out to dinner with everyone. Jeez, okay, this person, hold on.
This one doesn't really make any sense at all.
Okay, so if we're going off the first thing, people should have a limited number of plus ones at their wedding. I don't think that's controversial.
No, I definitely am of the opinion that if you're haven't been in a relationship for over a year or married, that you don't get a plus one.
Yeah.
Like, I don't understand why everyone's handing out plus ones. I don't get that. That doesn't make sense to me.
Yeah. So in that sense, yeah, I agree with this person.
But the whole rest of it about singles being treated poorly, are they just referring to seating arrangements?
I think that's what it is. They get stuck with the elderly relative.
Treated poorly.
Okay.
Okay.
This person, I don't know how controversial this is. If you've been treated poorly as a single person at a wedding, you can say something to us and maybe we can talk about it, because I just don't believe that happens. If you feel excluded because you're a single person at a wedding, then that might be on you. You might be a little bit self-conscious.
Yeah, I just find it hard to believe that you'd be at a wedding where you don't know anybody.
Yeah.
Like, even, like, I don't know.
Maybe you're like a coworker of the bride.
Are you the only coworker that was invited?
Right. Maybe
I guess that could happen, but I feel like that's not something that.
But then they bring up elderly relatives, like they're related and that they don't have any friends within their family. Okay, if you're the person who wrote this, you can reach out to us and let us know what you mean, because I feel like you just got a little heated when you were typing it.
Yeah, this one doesn't make sense.
We're going to move on to the next one. Yeah, okay. We're going to move on to the next one.
All right. Don't make the bridal party pay for their ugly dresses. If you can't afford to buy them, you can't afford bridesmaids. I'm kind of split on this one.
Preach. What? You're split?
Yeah, I didn't love that I had to rent my suit for my brother's wedding, but sticking my brother with a $2,000 tab for everyone's suit also kind of sucks.
Yeah. I think that there could be better planning. I think that could eliminate everything, because if you plan as a bride with your bridesmaids or as a groom with your groomsmen about an outfit you all like or a color that you vibe with or something, then okay, have them pay for theirs. Yeah. If they're going to be able to use that in multiple situations and if you've planned it so that they can use it in multiple situations, then yeah, maybe you can ask them to pay for it. But if you are going to stick them with one option and that's it, and they're never going to be able to wear it again, I believe that bill's on you.
Yeah, I would say if you're going to make everyone wear the exact same dress that maybe doesn't even fit them well, like, because not every dress is made for every woman, then I think
that's the sweetest thing you've ever.
Because it's true. Like, certain dresses aren't made for certain people, and then if they're only going to wear it to your wedding, it kind of sucks that they have to own it.
Yep. And I know sometimes women have lots of women in their corner. We had a bride that had 14 bridesmaids.
Yeah.
This past year, and she just wanted everyone to wear black. Black was her color. She said, I don't care what it is. I want it to be black. And then everybody got to go buy their own black gown that they were going to wear again.
Yeah, because you're going to wear a black gown again.
Yep, and you can go shopping for it and make sure it's going to fit you and you're comfortable in it and you're going to have that for your closet. But if she were to have been, all right, 14 ladies, this is the dress that I've picked out for you. And maybe it has like
hot pink.
Maybe it has like a super high chest piece that doesn't fit women with bigger chests, or maybe it goes super low and not everybody's comfortable with super low. Maybe it has a slit up the front that is a little high for some people's taste. Like, there are a million reasons why a dress might not feel comfortable for people, and if you're going to make them wear something, or if they're going to wear something for you that they're not comfortable in, I don't think that bill was on them.
Also, I feel like there's something we're not talking about here. How much does it cost to buy a bridesmaid's dress generally?
Like $100-$200 like max.
I'm looking at
I guess it depends on where you're going. It depends on if you're getting it tailored. I would say there's no way people are paying more than $500, but I could be wrong.
Okay, so I feel like $500. I'm not seeing anything over $200.
Well, and that's because you're looking online too. Okay. Online options are good ones, but if you want like an in-store boutique experience where they're also going to tailor it to you, it's going to cost more. But
okay,
for both instances I've bought a dress, it's been less than $200.
I'm going to say something that's more controversial than this controversial take, is that the problem here isn't bridesmaid dresses. It's groomsmen suits. Because at the end of the day, you spend between $100 to $200 on a dress, and you own the dress that you might be able to resell to somebody. For when you have your groomsmen rent their suits, it's going to cost $200, and then it's a rental. Mm-hmm. Like, why is that not what's being talked about? Because it definitely sucked that I had to pay $200 to rent a suit for.
I think it was $250
for a wedding. At the end of the day, I don't even own that suit, and then I could get charged on top of it if part of the suit's damaged.
Yeah.
Like that feels like the real scam. Why is no one talking about that? Why is it about bridesmaids dresses?
Well, because I don't know, women are probably thought to be more likely to wear that outfit again.
Yeah, but at the end of the day, you can sell it to. There's somebody that.
Oh yeah, you could. And I'm not saying that the groomsman situation is like the groomsman suit situation is a good one. I think the thing that we think about all the time, we tell people all the time, is if you are a groom and you just can't really figure out your suit situation, you're having a hard time, you're worried they're not going to get it right, why don't you look at your significant other's budget for their outfit? Why don't you look at that and then apply that same budget to you and then buy your suit?
Buy your suit, get it tailored, it's going to fit you perfect. And a man with a suit, unless it's something, even if it's ridiculous, you're probably going to wear that again.
Yep, probably. At least to another person's wedding. Yep. At least, maybe your funeral. Like, I don't know.
Yeah, at the very least, you might have something for your funeral. Yeah. You might have to get it expanded or taken down depending on what happens to you.
Depending on what happens to you in your life. Yeah.
Thinking about renting suits over, it kind of just makes the whole ugly dresses thing, buying bridesmaid dresses, kind of makes me not care about it as much.
Well, although, I think this is all kind of silly. I think that I don't know. When we had groomsmen and bridesmaids, we paid for their stuff because I didn't feel like I could ask them to buy what we were. I mean, our color was neon green, so it's like
it's very hard to get a hold of, so we had to supply it.
Well, and also I didn't feel like they were necessarily going to be wearing neon green bow ties again, or my bridesmaids were in gray, like a light gray, and I didn't necessarily feel like they were going to have the chance to wear that dress again. So we just bought all of their stuff. So we foot the bill
for all the clothes and the tailoring, and because we felt that was the right thing to do, because those aren't clothes for them, those are clothes for us.
Yep. And so that's where we stand. So we stand like with this person. I think this is the first person we've really agreed with.
Yeah.
But I think if you are going to give them the option of wearing whatever they want, or like within some specific color or something, I think that you are more justified asking them to pay.
Yeah.
But if you are going to tell them exactly what they're wearing, I feel like that's on you to pay for it.
I agree.
Unfortunately, I do feel like that's on the couple. Number 7. A wedding is not time to showcase how unique or niche your music taste is. Play some Whitney Houston, some ABBA, A-B-B-A.
That's not familiar to me.
Or Don't Invite Me.
Disagree.
All right, Grace Lee 32. I love how these are anonymous, but they have the name at the bottom of it.
Yeah, like someone's just it's their anonymous online character.
So, okay. You're literally being invited to a party. If you don't like the music, you can leave at any point. You can leave. There are going to be people who don't agree with your music taste.
The music is played generally after dinner and after dessert. Mm-hmm. At that point, you've kind of got what you came for. If you really don't vibe with it, go home. Yeah,
why are you play some Whitney Houston or Don't Invite Me? I'm sorry. What? Don't
Whitney
come.
Houston.
If your relationship with the couple is so shallow that you need them to play your favorite songs at their wedding, don't come.
Yeah.
Consider yourself uninvited. I don't know.
That's kind of insane.
I'll take a check in the mail, please.
That doesn't feel like a controversial take. That just kind of feels like a bad take.
Like, okay. I do agree with there being limits to music. You want something that's going to be for everybody. But if you have a really unique music taste, you should be able to showcase that at your wedding. And you probably have friends who have a similar unique taste. We had a groom one time who, it was for the Halloween wedding.
Yep,
they had
Halloween wedding.
They had at the very end, their last hour was an hour of rage music. They did screamo. They did like,
it was some real headbanging stuff.
Yep. And that was their taste, and that's what they wanted to do. And it was for the last hour. So they condensed it to the last hour as opposed to having it thrown in occasionally.
Yeah. And they even warned people. They're like, this is what's happening at 10. If you don't want it, go home by 10.
Yep. Some people have children, you know,
like the music's gonna take a hard right at 10, so make sure you're gone if you don't want to be there for it.
So if you want to do something more unique and you're afraid of your guests being a little bit more persnickety, like Grace Lee 32, you could probably
What's persnickety mean?
Persnickety?
I'm not familiar with that word.
I don't know why you'd ask me to define it. Look it up.
I'm curious. Okay, I'll look it up. Continue.
No, I'm invested. I want to see if what I thought persnickety meant.
Echo. What's persnickety mean?
Persnickety is an adjective that describes something that is very particular or fussy. Something is persnickety if it is detailed and specific in its requirements or if it has a small number of flaws. The word persnickety is usually used to describe someone who is very concerned with details or perfectionism.
Why do I feel like that word fits perfectly to the definition? Persnickety.
Persnickety.
I'm going to start using that. I'm going to start calling people that. Our wedding photography is very persnickety.
Stop. It's not.
No, it's not. I'm just kidding.
He's going to give the wrong idea.
We do pay attention to details.
We do, but we don't fussy. We're not fussy.
We're not fussy. Yes, we're not fussy.
But I definitely think that if you are worried about your friends being persnickety, then you could consolidate your weird taste of music to the last hour or the last 30 minutes even. Just get a few 10 songs in there that you just love.
And if you have like a good DJ, they'll probably advise you as to what most people enjoy. And if you have some really strange taste, they'll probably tell you. They probably advise you to like have it isolated to a certain point. Like a good DJ is going to give you the expertise to know how to lay out the music of your wedding. Like
we've also seen some not great DJs. We had a wedding
That's
also this past year who was like we were sitting down with him at dinner. And he was like, this is going to be interesting. And we're like, why? And he's like, the list of songs they gave me, it's dumb. I don't hear anybody listening to these songs.
I think he said it was only Taylor Swift, Justin Bieber, and some other more trendy songs.
And that was the most banging dance floor of the summer.
They went hard.
They went so hard.
They were beer bonging. They were jumping around.
They had the sunglasses they were passing around. They had foam light up things that they were swinging. It was a blast.
Beginning to exit. To their actual exit of the
which was
wedding,
several hours.
They were just going at it.
They were
it was awesome.
in it. Yep. And this DJ.
And it was to Justin Bieber and Taylor Swift.
It was two very, very like pop culture music. Like, and this DJ was like, nobody's gonna like that. This is gonna be interesting. I was like, bro, you
don't even know.
You're old. Like, I'm so sorry, but you're old. That's why you don't like this. Like, sometimes a DJ is gonna know what he's talking about, but if you know your friends better. Like, maybe they're going to like the same music. And if you know that you have really unique tastes, like screamo, Norwegian death metal, maybe you throw that in at the very end. Okay, I feel like that's not too big of a controversy. Like, maybe nobody just needs to be inviting this person to their wedding.
Yeah. Yeah. They need to just go have a rave in their bedroom.
Yeah, if they want to listen to Whitney Houston, they could probably just do that on their own time if they want, you know? Like, okay, number 8.
All right. No one owes you free booze for attending their wedding. Some people don't drink or they don't want to see things get out of hand. If you can't have fun without alcohol, don't go. White wedding dresses. Wait, this is 2. White wedding dresses are boring. I love that other cultures embrace. This is 2 things.
Okay, maybe we just stop at if you can't have fun.
Well, let me read the whole thing in my head real quick.
Ooh, they've got a few things in theirs. Okay, let's just break it down. Let's read the whole thing and then let's break it down.
Okay. So this one is actually a couple different things. So we're going to read the whole thing and we'll go piece by piece.
Piece by piece.
No one owes you free booze for attending their wedding. Some people don't drink or they don't want to see things get out of hand. If you can't have fun without alcohol, don't go.
Thing number 1.
Thing number 2. White wedding dresses are boring. I love that other cultures embrace colorful and sparkly dresses or traditional garments. We should wear whatever colors suit us best rather than follow a lame tradition that started with a princess.
That was number 2, so now we're number
3. Don't go into debt trying to have a big party. Save that money for a house, a honeymoon, a car, etc.
Ooh. Those are 3. Those are 3 ones, aren't they?
All right.
Okay, no one owes you free booze at your wedding. That was number 1. Yeah.
Yeah, I agree. Okay, so let's get something out of the way. No one owes anyone anything for free.
Yep, for attending their wedding. Like, they don't,
Yeah.
you as a guest get to go to celebrate them. If you feel owed anything at the end of the day, if you're mad that you didn't get a thank you card within 3 weeks, if you are angry that you're giving them a gift, if you are upset that their bar isn't open and you have to pay for your drink, or you're upset that there's not alcohol provided, maybe you need to reconsider how you treat your friends.
Yeah, because some people don't love the idea of alcohol, and I don't know.
You can't really fault them for it. Alcohol definitely is a little bit crazy.
Yep.
Yeah, I
feel like that one's pretty simple.
I stand with that one.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, you're not owed free booze, but you're also not owed anything as a wedding guest. Yeah. Okay, the second one, white wedding dresses are boring. I love that other cultures embrace sparkly, colorful dresses.
Yeah.
They can be.
We, as artists, we love anything that is awesome.
A little, yeah. And that could be a white wedding dress.
For lack of a better term, anything that's awesome.
Yep.
And different is awesome.
Yep.
And yeah.
Yep.
That's basically it.
I wouldn't go as far as saying white wedding dresses are boring. Maybe they're looking at the wrong white wedding dresses.
Yeah.
Like, there's some really cool wedding dresses out there.
Definitely be really cool, but specifically like in like Indian weddings, some of their attire is like very, very appealing to look at. It's very nice clothes.
Very awesome.
I would say it's awesome. Yeah. And I am excited for the day that we shoot an Indian wedding.
Yeah. Yeah. Or the days. I've heard their events.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I hope that happens.
They said we should wear whatever color suits us best. We don't all know what color suits us best. Maybe we just,
I don't really know.
Yeah, I don't know either.
I wear t-shirts and cargo shorts.
I've been watching.
That's done fine for me. I'm married. It worked. Okay.
I think that well, have you seen you probably haven't, the trend on TikTok right now where everybody's trying to figure out what season's their season color wise?
No.
It's like all over my FYP.
So what season's your season?
I literally don't know.
Why have you not done it?
Because nothing. You have to go to a professional.
Oh,
you can
it's
try
not
to
like
do it
a filter
yourself.
you can.
I mean, I'm sure you can filter, but I'm sure it's not going to be right.
My season is fall.
He just says
simple.
it. Yep. Yeah. My season's fall. Okay. Don't go into debt trying to have a big party. Save that money for a house, honeymoon, a car, etc.
Yeah.
I think, okay, if you are really financially not in a position to throw a big party, don't.
Yeah.
Don't do it.
I would agree.
Like, if you have to, I would argue that it's okay if it's been your dream forever to save up for it and to splurge. But if you are hardcore going into debt, that makes me sad.
Yeah.
That makes me sad to think that there would be people who are really going into debt paying for our services.
I think if you can afford to throw a big, huge wedding, more power to you. And I think that's awesome. As someone who is a luxury wedding vendor, I support that. But
we love it. Yeah.
We love it. But you shouldn't be going into debt to do it. Like, if you can't do it, just don't do it. And that's fine. You can have an amazing wedding on a budget. You should not be putting everything on the credit card and taking out loans or anything like that.
Yeah. Yeah. That one's kind of hard. And if you've always dreamed of having a really nice wedding, don't let anybody talk you out of it. If the idea of like an elopement just doesn't strike your fancy and you're like, I really, really, really just want like a nice wedding, like, you can have a nice wedding. Don't let anybody be like, your house is more important. Because your kid once, you get married once, celebrate that if you want to celebrate that.
Yep.
Don't let anybody make you feel bad about it. However, if the idea of a wedding stresses you out, or you just aren't jiving with the idea of investing that much money in a day or a weekend, maybe you should be looking at other options. Look at eloping. Look at going to a courthouse and having just like a smaller day. We personally, if we were to redo this is on the record. If we were to have a wedding now, we would rent an Airbnb that's big enough for our families.
And has a decent backyard.
And has a decent backyard. So it'd probably be a relatively expensive Airbnb. And then we would stay for a weekend. And we'd have our families there with us all weekend. We would have pizzas and donuts.
Yep. Pizzas and donuts would be our wedding food.
Yep. And we would just be around the people who matter the most to us in the world, which are our immediate families. And we would
overspend on our photographer and videographer, because that's the one thing is, you could say your wedding is one day and it goes into the past and you forget it more and more as each day goes on, but you can get a house, a honeymoon, a car, etc. That's going to be more valuable. I would argue that we have gone through many decorating, planning sessions, and wishing that we had good photos to put up on our walls has been like a constant, like, man, I wish we had that.
Yep.
And we don't forget it. So that's the one thing that you will take away, and you need to invest properly into that depending on your budget.
Without being like morbid, like, your family members are not always going to be around, or you're going to have distance between you. To like have a day, at least one day, just captured really well so that your relationship dynamic is captured, like that's huge.
Yep.
You can relive your relationship through pictures, through video that's done really well in an intimate setting, and you can have that forever when you're far away from that person, you miss them, or maybe you have a loved one pass away. Like, you can relive your relationship with them well after they're gone or you've moved away because of the coverage you get. And that's something that because we also we're like we budget, like we definitely don't like spending a lot of money, but that's kind of why we're able to be in the business we're in, is we see the value of being able to do people's relationships justice.
And we want to give you that because we didn't have it.
Because we know what it's worth. 10 years, 5 years, 6 years later, we know how much we think about how much we would want that. We know that, like, we think about what we missed out on. And for our siblings who have been married, that's something that we take really seriously. It's just like trying to make sure that they're taken care of, because there's no shortage of grief that comes with not having that done well. So on that side of it, we would Airbnb, which probably would be a little expensive, food super cheap, we'd keep the guest list small, and then we would just have the best weekend that we could ever have with the people who are closest with us.
That's exactly what we would do.
Yep. And I think that if you don't have the budget to do anything super extravagant, like, to me, that's extravagant. Like, to me, our idea of a wedding day is extravagant because it has so much of what I want in it, you know?
Yeah.
Like, that to me sounds extravagant, but it's not in the grand scheme of weddings.
Yeah.
So if you can't have something super extravagant, look into a different alternative if you still want a wedding. But if the idea makes you really anxious and you don't want it, then maybe save your money. Put that down payment on a house. Like, you also get money at your wedding. People give you money. We've had couples who at their wedding or after their wedding were able to take a honeymoon that they didn't expect based on people's gifts to them. So just like, they just know that you're going to get some return a little bit, and but definitely don't go into debt for it.
No,
don't count on it. Yeah.
So these have been pretty interesting little topics. I feel like everything we've said is basically just do what you want to do for you. Yeah. And what you want to do, and just be unapologetic about it. Don't, like, listen to some people, but then if someone's trying to pressure you into doing something for your wedding that you don't want to do, just don't do it. Mm-hmm. It's fine. It's your wedding. It'll be okay.
Yep. And if they are a person who is upset at their wedding experience and they're trying to tell you what to do because they want to relive their wedding experience, unfortunately, that's not their place.
No, it's not.
And if it's a person who has never had a wedding before and they're trying to tell you what to do, how about they can wait till their own wedding? Realistically, people should be able to give you suggestions without taking it personally when you don't accept them. And if they do take it personally, that's not on you. Yeah. To make it better.
All right. So this has been...
Oh, so we're only doing 8?
Oh, was that 8 felt like 10.
I guess you're right.
I say we stop there at 9.
Okay. Well, just know that there are literally 20 more. And
you'll have to tune in next time to hear us talk about the rest of them.
Yeah, we could do this again because I think we really liked this.
Yeah, this was awesome.
Yeah. Well, I think the wedding industry in general is an industry where we see brides and grooms get, like, I don't want to use the word bully because bullied is, like, kind of a hard word, but like, it kind of feels like brides and grooms are bullied by family members, by vendors, by friends into doing something that they don't want to do, and that rubs us the wrong way. And so the hot takes, the opinions that, like, we have, I think just in every way that they can support a bride and groom being able to make their own decisions, or just protecting a bride and groom, and that's kind of just like the standpoint that we have taken based on what we do. So if you've disagreed with anything we've said, or if you have a different hot take of your own, maybe you don't have to tell us if you've disagreed with us, but if you have a hot take of your own, we'd like to hear it. Yeah. And absolutely. You can email us. You can email us at
theweddingjourneypodcast@gmail.com.
You can Instagram message us at
The Wedding Journey Podcast.
And that's it.
We'll see you next time.
Yeah, thank you so much for hanging out with us.
Yeah, thanks for listening.
Bye.
Bye.